Hey guys, Shan, and today we are making a new LD5 most wanted tier list for myself because 11th anniversary, April, no new LD5 yet. This tier list is very biased. It is for myself, what I really want, what I really like to play with, and what I don't like. So the tier will be my most wanted unit, and then units that are good for RTA in general, and then there are RTA plus Gil and PvP in general that are also really good because they are multi-purpose unit kind of thing. And then there's Gil PvP unit, and then there are the good to have. I would be, if I get this unit, it'll be okay, you know, I'll not be like too super excited. And then there's the good unit, but I don't really like using. There'll be a couple, okay? They're really good, a lot of people like them, but I personally don't like them because this is my tier list, my biased opinion. And then there's the, if I get them, I'll join the buff campaign immediately. No question asked. Please buff these units. And then there'll be the dupe section where I have already summoned these units before. So hopefully this will help in your browsing purposes. I know exactly what you are doing with your new account. Anyway, starting off with Shan, I have already acquired this unit, so it's going to be the dupe tier. Very solid unit. If I don't have this guy, he's going to go into the RTA plus Gil PvP because I use him in Gil content quite a fair bit. He's really fun to play with in a control team like the Dark Dryad kind of team because he can provide stun and very good damage output. So I use him a lot in Gil PvP, and you can also use him in RTA as a last pick for damage as long as enemy team is not going to stun him turn 1, or there's no Leo or Josephine or Juno on the field, then he can be quite dominating. But I have him, so it's going to be in a dupe tier. The lowest tier doesn't mean it's bad, okay? This is not like 100 to 40 tier list. It's not that kind of tier list here. You need to read the label accordingly. Zeratu, most wanted. Oh my god. This unit is really good right now. One of the best bruiser for RTA. Very good for guild content as well. So I really like this unit. It is like one of the strongest single target, strip damage, self-healing, self-protecting. Just a very self-sufficient damage dealer. And he's really good right now in the RTA meta because it's all single target and you can build him on speed, crit, HP with good additional damage and artifact, and he can hit like a truck while being very hard to kill. Han, on the other hand, is also a very solid single target unit. I think he's not in the most wanted tier because I don't own Woonsa or Viva. So if I get him, it's going to be a bit harder to use him. And my runes are pretty shit anyway. That is also another problem. I think Zeratu is a bit easier to build to be effective than Han. Han's going to be a bit harder, and Han doesn't protect himself. And if you have shit rune, Han will not kill or defense break or stun consistently. So he's going to be in the RTA tier. Akroma, oh my god. This unit lives in my head rent-free because I love playing AoE debuff. And this unit counter the entire thing. Pretty much any AoE debuff team, when you see Akroma, you just want to cry. And it is one of my, is it most wanted though? Do I really want to play with this unit a lot? With the recent buff, it gets even stronger. Very good in RTA, but because I love playing debuff, so usually I fight her, and even if I have her in my box, I'm not sure if I can use her. And the meta is shifting to single target, so in high rank, you probably see less of her. I'm probably gonna put her into the RTA tier. Trinity, I own a Lucifer, so any cleave LD5 is instantly better than it should be. And Trinity is definitely gonna be one of them. I think Trinity can be very decent in Arena Rush, and definitely in RTA cleave playstyle, can be very fun to play with. And LD5 speed lead, and might be buff because everyone always talk about Trinity buff. So I actually really want this unit. I might regret it though if I have it. I don't know about it yet. I don't have it. The grass is always greener on the other side. I might be putting Trinity too high, but I really want to use her with my rune and my Lucifer to see how good she can be. Zerath, instantly most wanted with Lucifer in my team. Also, I feel like I might be able to make the 15-second Giants team with Lucifer and Zerath, and that's gonna burn my crystal even faster. And very good for guild content cleave as well. Very good for arena cleave as well. So his build is gonna be like rage HP, quick damage HP. And in RTA, There's one guy on YouTube, Dustin, that he play with his unit in RT and G3 all the time. I can learn from him as well if I own the unit. That can be very, very fun. So most wanted for sure. Julianne used to be super, super top tier. Now it's a little bit less relevant because of the rise of Fire to an Angel. If you pick this guy and Fire to an Angel, look at you and start killing you, it might be bad. So we might put Julianne into the RTA plus guild PvP because I think he can be used in guild offense as well. Very good. How do I say that? Building him is easy. Using him is easy. He's light. He can be used in any guild offense because light. So he's like a 5-star LD Theomas kind of vibe. Very, very good unit. Dark Dragon. Okay, this is the kind of unit that I don't know if he's actually good or not because I'm a fan of Zerath, the Fire Dragon. And the Fire Dragon is very easy to build and very, very good in killing things. So I used to like this guy a lot. Nowadays, not so much. So I might put him into a good to have. Like, he'd be convenient to use against certain defense. But I think Zerath is just really, really good. And they do kind of similar things. And also Zerath is simpler to build. Dark Vampire. Okay, this is the unit that I would put in the please buff tier. They buffed him recently. Still nobody talk about him or how good he is. Nobody really use him for anything. I see him in guild defense from time to time in lower rank guild, but I never really see him in higher rank guild defense by any guild whatsoever. And I don't see him in RTA at all. He might be usable in dungeon, but his AI is so stupid to use the skill tool all the time. He could have been one of the better units for Steel Fortress, but he's not good there as well. So I think he's going to be in the please buff tier. Light Chicken. Most wanted, actually, because I have Lucifer. If I don't have Lucifer, then she would be in the maybe good to have. Probably here. But because I have Lucifer, I can use it with 0 speed and max damage. And it is one of the only units in the game that strip defense break and do the big damage all in one skill. Can be very fun and interesting to play with on a Nemesis will build for Lucifer RTA team and just some other fun stuff in World Guild Battle. Jaara, I have this unit. One of my most favorite units to use all the time in World Guild Battle and Siege. And if I happen to use it in RTA, it is always a fun time. So Jaara, if I don't have this unit, it's gonna be right here. Very, very fun unit. One shot so many things in the game so easily. Artamiel, the game icon. Because he's a game icon, he should be in the most wanted. But I don't really like him that much. I play against him a whole lot, and every time I do, he doesn't feel like a big threat. And he's not a very fun unit to play with as well, because if you run him on Despair, half the time you are praying, please Despair stun, please Despair stun. And if he doesn't, it's lame. And if he does, there are so many units that counter stun debuff nowadays. Stun is not a real debuff, by the way. So I'll put him into the good, but I don't really like this unit. Fermion. Another unit that I think can use a small buff to be much more relevant. I think he's almost there. He's very good at taking damage and doing damage. He can heal, provoke, defense break, all in the same unit. But if he is just immune to some sort of debuff, I think he's going to be really good. Laima. Laima is... I don't know. I think I'm going to put Laima into the RTA Guild PvP tier. I think I like her a little bit more than the good to have tier, because she's still very usable and could be fun to play with, together with Heigang on my favorite water unit. And I would complete the Oracle family, and that's a great touch. Lora. So after how many nerfs at this point? 1, 2, 3. Too many nerfs. She is still one of the strongest RTA unit in my opinion, especially in the high rank. Can be quite devastating to fight against. But I have Wedgeat. Lora Wedgeat together can still be pretty good. Maybe, maybe not. I think I'll put her into the... No, I'm just kidding. She's in the most wanted tier, okay? She's one of the best arena defense unit. She's one of the best guild siege defense unit. She's one of the best RTA unit. She can be used for offense with defense scaling AoE damage monster. She is one of the best unit in the game. Hands down. After many, many nerfs. Giana is gonna be in the dupe tier. But if I don't have Giana, instantly in the most wanted tier. Very solid. Control, damage, everything in between. But the consistency of this unit is the problem. Every time she fail, you just did absolutely nothing. If you strip stun fail, you waste a turn. If you bomb fail, you waste another turn. So sometimes you will feel like she's there like a Juno with only skill 1 and does nothing else. Nikki. Nikki is going to be in the good to have, potentially. I think the time of Nikki has kind of gone by. She used to be very relevant for a short period of time where people were super bruisery-ish, and her attack buff combined with Dominic and other high damage unit is really, really strong. But I think now Kovaci kind of take her place in that spot with attack bar and immunity protection. So she's a bit harder to use because everyone's going fast, control cooldown style. And when she get control cooldown, like Oliver segment, she is just going to stand there and do absolutely nothing. And they nerf the skill 1 of this family, so the proc transfer is lower. So it's a bit harder to use her. So I think she's going to be in a good to have tier, but I wouldn't say she is going to be used a lot. Asima. So Asima used to be one of the most popular AoE dot unit, but that is not a very special thing anymore nowadays because so many fire unit can do her job and she doesn't have attack bar pushback. One of the most important factor of a good control CC debuff unit is being able to counter things that counter you. So Beth, the water version of this, has attack bar pushback and anti-cleanse, which is really good into the stuff that counter debuff. She doesn't have that. And with the rise of Aya, Juno, Josephine, Gio, and many other bullshit unit, I think she's gonna be in the please buff tier. You know what? I'm gonna join the Asima please buff camp. I think she can use a small buff. Craka just got buffed recently, can be fun, but still, I fought her recently and the lack of consistency is real. So I'm gonna put her into the RTA guild content. I think it is going to be a fun unit for guild defense. Can be fun to use, but wouldn't be able to say that she's a competitive, consistent, high win rate unit. We have Jager. It's going to be in the please buff tier 100%. I fight this guy from time to time as well. And he eat debuff like a sponge, like the dishwashing sponge. He eat all the debuff and then does nothing. You are immune to stun? Cool. Your attack bar is gone, you're slowed down, you have attack break, you have glancing, you're screwed. He does nothing. Light Monkey King. This is like a niche last pick RTA unit when you feel like there's no passive unit over there that will screw him over, like Juno, Josephine, Rakuni, Veramos, Tetra, Ragdoll, and all the other LD5 that kind of debuff. Then you can pick him. So not a whole lot of time in the day. And in guild content, he can be used in the control team as well. But the lack of damage make him not very exciting to use. So they need to give him some sort of damage output in the skill 3 or 2, maybe in the future. So I think he's going to be in the good to have tier. I wouldn't say he's bad. It's just that you can't use him very often, and using him is not exactly very exciting. Ragdoll. Ragdoll. Man, he used to be in the good, but I don't like tier. But now, I kind of like playing Aya a lot, and he buffed Aya attack bar like crazy, which could be very fun when people trying to go debuff on me. But I still don't really like Ragdoll because he's very boring to play with. He just stand there, the kind of thing. But maybe when I have to play turn 2 nowadays, all right, I'm gonna put him into the RTA tier. Okay, he has graduated from the good but I don't like tier because I'm enjoying a little bit of Fire Megumi, Gio, Aya recently. I know, very degen playstyle, but with Ragdoll, that playstyle gets so much better. And also, it could be fun to experiment the other side of the world. Dark Monkey King. I think Dark Monkey King is going to go in the good to have tier. I wouldn't say he's a bad unit. He can be fun to play with. He set up defense spec very well, but I feel he's a little bit awkward. He has high base speed, which means you can ruin him very fast, but his strip doesn't come with real control. So if he go first, outspeed the enemy team, he doesn't really do anything if they're on wheel. If they're off wheel, different story. But if they're on wheel, which is 90% of people nowadays, then he wouldn't be able to do much to the enemy team. But maybe as a follow-up unit, he can be pretty fun, like a Zhongnam but LD5. Shazam. Okay, this guy is kind of popular on guild PvP defense, and I wouldn't mind having another strong guild defense unit, so I'm putting him into the guild PvP tier. Rahul, I have this guy. If I don't have this guy, he's going to be in the please buff tier. One of the worst LD5 in the game. Doesn't really do much, doesn't really counter anything well, doesn't really do anything well. Not even good for PvE. Yeonhong is gonna be in the most wanted tier, partly because I can complete the Skylancer family. Also, very high base speed unit, good for getting turn 1, very fun to play with, can combo with many other things. So the skill 3 can be built on Violent as well. So very versatile, high base speed, turn 1 unit. Even useful in siege content with the Conrad, Light Robo, Yeonhong team. So I think you start with Yeonhong boosting the bear, the 2A light warbear, and then warbear one-shot something. Conrad swap the HP, Yeonhong one-shot another thing, and then you repeat the combo. It's pretty fun. Wolyung is gonna be in the dupe tier, but if I don't have Wolyung, it's gonna be in the please buff tier, because I feel like she doesn't really have a spot in anywhere in this game. You can't really use her in Arena Rush because everyone has minus win. So Wolyung, Kabila, Lucian doesn't really do enough damage, unfortunately. And you still have to build your Lucian pretty fast. She is shit compared to PvE, compared to Colleen in PvE. And she's not used in RTA because of her low base speed. Very hard to use it to get turn 1. And she can get stunned, reset by all the other high base speed unit. So I'm gonna put her into the please buff tier. Maybe buff her skill 3 to do real damage. That'd be cool. Nigong is gonna be good to have because I don't think defense with Nigong are that strong, but I still see them from time to time. Maybe they can farm casual player, and Nigong is not super relevant in any offense team. Like, he can make the offense really safe, but not very exciting to play, you know? I'm going to put him into the good to have because I can build him on Violent Nemesis, triple HP to pick into Cleavers in RTA, but that's like once or twice a day kind of thing. And then I'll put him into like Siege Defense with some other Bruiser unit and call it a day and forget about him there. Woonsa. Oh, Woonsa is going to be into the... Can I put him into Most Wanted? Do I have the runes for Woonsa? My best Swift set is plus 225 on Woonsa. So it is kind of tragic. Like, he's gonna be kind of slow, even with my best Swift set. I don't know. Can I really pull off the turn 1 playstyle without Nephthys, Maximilian, and crazy LD5 speed lead? I think it's gonna be in the RTA tier. Like, if I have him, I want to use him in RTA, but I'm not confident enough to say, with Woonsa, I'm gonna destroy people because I don't have the runes and the LD5 to combo with him. Elsharion's gonna be free to play unit. We're gonna put him into the dupe tier together with Veramos as well. Veramos is one of the strongest units in PvP and PvE. Veramos, unironically, is better than a lot of LD5 on the list. Light Polar Queen. I'm gonna put Light Polar Queen into the RTA tier. I think I'm gonna revisit the Layla, Tomoe, Heigang team at Light Polar Queen because she can provide cooldown reduction and defense break for the team. Make it really, really strong. Her skill 2 is amazing as well. On a Despair build, she's gonna do a lot of fun stuff for the team. Lydia. Okay, I've been watching a lot of Summons of European League, and there's this one guy, Crispy Bacon, in there that played Lydia that just shocked the entire world all the time when he allowed, when the enemy allowed a Lydia to move and one-shot the entire enemy team. Is very fun to see. I'm not sure if I can pull that off though. I don't know any combo that do really well with this unit. It's more like a surprise factor. So I think I'm gonna put her into the good to have. Like, I would put some runes on her. I'll use her like once or twice a day if the opportunity arises. But other than that, not a whole lot. Pontos. Pontos is a very solid unit for guild content and RTA at the same time, but not very exciting to play, unfortunately. So I'll put into the RTA guild PvP tier and not the most wanted tier, but a very solid unit, and I would love to utilize it with like Katarina stuff and Nem Will trap build for RTA. Could be fun. Dark Pontos, Banana Man, he's gonna go into the... I have no idea. I really have no idea. Mananan, I find from time to time, it's not super exciting. There's some G30 people that snipe cleave with him, but then their runes are insane. I don't have runes like that. So he might go into the good to have. I would play with him for like a day or two, and then it's gonna be very hard to play with him consistently throughout the season. Sylvia is gonna be into the guild PvP unit, one of the best guild defense unit across all different kind of ranks, and can be teamed up with other teaming up unit as well for some fun team up action and destroy people with a strong skill 1 unit. That could be very, very fun. She's top tier in guild PvP. Like, if this list is a guild content list, she'll be in the most wanted. But because this is like an overall list, I think she's definitely better than Shazam. Like, her and Shazam in the same tier is not fair. But I don't want to split the guild PvP into like 3 other tier. She is, once again, way better. Like here, like really good. Okay, but I want to simplify things a little bit, not too split out. She's really, really good. I really want this unit, but only for guild PvP. Okay, you know what? I keep saying that. I'm gonna put her here. Okay, she's in the most wanted, but only for guild PvP. The Bay, oh my god, the Bay Cleave in RTA has shocked me so many times. Very scary unit, and if I have Craka, that'll be insane. I think I'll put the Bay in the RTA plus guild PvP. I think as a strong HP bruiser, he can be used on defense as well. Can be very fun. Wedgie is gonna be on the dupe tier. I think if I don't have this unit, he's gonna be in the RTA tier. I wouldn't say he's most wanted because nowadays he's kind of irrelevant due to the nerf and people are speeding him and people figure out how to play against him with Boverg and many other strip. He's not that strong anymore. CC, she's gonna be in the dupe tier. If I don't have her, she's gonna go into the good to have because she's very inconsistent and she doesn't do any other thing beside the AoE Oblivion, which might sound really good on paper, but it's only 2 turns. They can proc Violent out of that. Goodbye. You missed the Oblivion on the cleansing unit. They cleanse everything. Goodbye. And after that, she's kind of useless for like 20 billion turns. Nephthys, most wanted unit still. Very good combo unit with all the thing. She's one of the greatest setup unit in the game. So even though she might not be insane on her own anymore, but combine her with many other things, she's very simple to use, very simple to set up with all the unit, can be built on damage, tanky, whatever you like. She can be very fun. Oberon is probably going to be rocking a Nem wheel set for my setup, and I'm going to use Oberon in RTA. For guild PvP, I'm going to build him on Rage, and he's going to be in the RTA guild PvP tier because he can be used for both, and he can be very good for both. But not that simple to use in RTA, unfortunately, if you don't have other combo LD5 like Viva Shell, Ragdoll kind of vibe. So if I rock him alone, he's going to be a bit harder to use. Nyx, this is the unit that is good, but I don't like because Nyx is very inconsistent with what he does. Like half the time you don't even know if he's helping you or not. Maybe he's helping you, maybe he's not helping you. You don't even know. And his playstyle is very turn 2-ish. I fight Nyx team sometimes. I hate to fight it, and I would hate to use it. It's a weird situation with this unit. It's good, but sometimes good. And I don't like that. Tian Lang. Tian Lang is another unit that I think everyone really want for RTA counterpick, but it's another unit I don't really like. He's really good to counterpick. Like, attack bar gain, Tian Lang down. And then they have to ban it. So it's lame, right? You don't even get to use it if you pick it right. Or if they let it through because you didn't pick it too optimally, the unit might not even do anything. Like the skill 2 is very inconsistent. And you need crazy ass room for him to go before your follow-up unit because of the low base speed. So a very inconsistent rune demanding unit that won't see play most of the time. Very weird unit to have. And he nerfed half your team as well because everyone have some sort of attack bar gain thing nowadays anyway. So not very fun to play with. I don't like that. Miying is, oh my god, Miying right now is one of the strongest single target anti-stun damage dealer, amazing into late game as well. Actually really insane. Watching all these pro player play Miying makes me really want one. It's going to be on like a speed crit rate, violent will build, and I'll pick him a lot because everybody's stunned nowadays. AoE stun, single target stun, auto stun, Miying's going to be there. Celia is going to be in the please buff tier. I think this unit is actually really terrible. I see her being used in guild content, mostly to deter people trying to Lucian you because of her high base speed. But when people bring in actual wheel shield kind of stuff, she does nothing. And then she kind of does nothing for the entire fight. If people bring in anti-CC unit, she's very, very useless. Eleanor is going to be in the dupe tier, but Eleanor is one of the best unit in the game for arena defense, and also in RTA, it feels like Nyx because she works sometimes, not all the time. And she's very tilting to play again as well. So I think she's gonna be in the RTA, PvP, other PvP kind of tier. But other people, I think, is gonna put her into the most wanted tier. But I'm gonna put her into the dupe tier, okay? Because I have her. Very good for arena defense. Very, very good. Like, you can skyrocket from like C2 to like G1 with her on defense because nobody want to touch you. Viva Gel. Viva Gel is going to be in the most wanted tier, one of the craziest unit to play against, and one of the most versatile unit I can see as well. She can be built on fast Vial, slow Vial, fast Swift, boost your single target sniper, or wait for enemy to move and snipe a unit with your team with the skill 3. It's a very complicated unit to use, but I would love to explore the different combination and position, combination with her in RTA. Dark Horse. Dark Horse is very funny when it works out. Dark Horse is gonna go into the... I think because it's a funny unit, I wouldn't say she's very, very good. I think you can put her on the arena defense as well, but I think the actual use of this unit, it's not so good. I think I'm going to put Dark Horse in the good to have. But I don't think it's that good though. Maybe it's going to go into the please buff tier. Because if you are like a casual player and you get this unit, I don't know if you can actually utilize it that well. Shan is a free-to-play unit. Leona is going to be in the dupe tier. Leona is very fun for like once a week. When people pick team that doesn't have defense break or strip. And that is very rare. Because everyone and their mom can do that now. But once in a while, there'll be that Gapsu, Ragdoll, Seimei player that died to solo Leona. Very fun. I run her on Vampire Revenge, defense, quick damage defense. No need for resistance. A lot of people think that they need resistance for this unit. But it's a very wrong concept. Because everyone who run a Death Break team would have high accuracy. And this game, max resist is meaningless against high accuracy. So if you pick this unit into a team that has defense break, you already failed the first step of getting her a win. Step 1, find a team that doesn't have strip and defense break. Step 2, win. And if you fail at step 1, you already fail. You can't win. You're gonna die. Even with high risk, you're gonna die, okay? You need to use her in a place where she shine. Not put her into the mud and expect her to shine. It's impossible. Volantis. Volantis is very good for RTA, but I feel like Volantis is like a LD5 triple revenge vert, because when he works, he's incredible. But when he doesn't revenge, then why do I even pick this unit kind of vibe? So I'm going to put Volantis into the good but I don't like, because it's a unit that you pick and you pray. If it works, insane. If it doesn't, bruh. And also get hard countered by Juno, Aya, so I don't like that. Patter. Patter is a unit that super hard counter Giana and other AoE strip unit. Very annoying thing to deal with. Personally for me, I really hate fighting this guy. So I'm going to put him into the RTA tier because that's where I see him exclusively. I don't see him any other place. And he shined the most in RTA. Gelnir is going to be in the dupe tier. Gelnir is going to be in the please buff tier if I don't have Gelnir. Or he's going to be in the guild PvP tier. I think Gelnir in RTA is very hard to use. Very boring to use as well. And in guild content, it's not even that good because it's a very simple, singular purpose kind of unit. And Sylvia is insane. You can use Gelnir to like give your Lucian speed lead. That's also pretty cool. But you can do that with Miyang as well. I think he is okay-ish in guild PvP, but I wouldn't mind Gelnir to get a buff. Next up is the Dark Lightning Emperor. I really don't know what is the real purpose of this guy. He used to be decent in R5 and Rift Raid, but then you don't need help in that area anymore nowadays. And he used to be relevant in guild content for a while, and then he get ignore defense sniped, so he died immediately as well. So there's no real purpose for this guy in any content whatsoever in the game, to be honest. You might find a team here and there, but I feel like he deserves to be buffed. Bella, I think Bella is the all-day OG Zeratu. Because Zeratu now does everything that Bella does, but with self-healing and self-immunity. So Bella has fallen off the map in RTA very, very hard. And I also don't know what to do with Bella if I have her. But because I don't have Zeratu, I'm going to put Bella into the RTA tier. Single target, sniped, very rune demanding. But I'm not sure if the value can justify the rune. Lucifer. dupe tier, but Lucifer is 100% in the most wanted tier. Amazing in PvE. I use him every day in Giants. Amazing in guild content, arena, and if you can also use him in RTA for fun AoE cleave. I try to use it. You won't go high rank though, but it's very fun when it works out every time. So it's gonna go here. Dark Demon. You need to get hard counter by increased cooldown time, which is everyone's team nowadays. Very hard to use in RTA, and I don't know if he's gonna be super good in guild PvP. I think he's gonna go into the good to have, because I think he can be very funny when he worked, but the moment they know what you want to do with that unit, they're gonna increase cooldown time. You cooked. Nasha is going to be in the dupe tier. Nasha is very hard to play. Nasha is like single target like Zeratu, but even more rune demanding and no self-protection. You would think that, oh, I have 2 life. They kill you in a heartbeat very, very quickly. Unless your rune are insane and you outspeed them or outspeed your enemy, 100% of the time you can one-shot them with Nasha. It looks really cool, but are your rune insane? I don't think so. So Nasha is going to go somewhere into the probably good to have. I think Nasha defense are just so easy to beat as well. With Leo, combination with Dark Tank, it's just very hard to use this unit properly. So I think if I have Nasha, I might actually put her into the please buff tier or good to have tier. Dark Beast Rider. Inconsistent. Silence in skill 3 is a very, very sad thing for this unit. I think it should have a proper debuff in skill 3 to make it relevant. I think she's almost relevant. It's just that she needs a little bit more on skill 3. And I put her into the RTA guild PvPT. I think she can be decent on guild defense and can be fun to last pick in RTA. Light Brush Boy. Light Brush Boy, Light Art Master is gonna go into the good to have. I think it's kind of similar to the Zyros Dark Dragon situation, whereby the free-to-play option or the elemental option are just really, really good compared to the LD5 AoE cleave unit. So I don't know, they need to buff his damage multiplier or give him self-attack buff or whatever, so that building him is going to be a bit easier so that he can actually perform. Dark Brush Boy. This guy has one of the rare mechanic in the game that he can put threat state on all the unit, which make him very funny for some certain combo, but in real world is not very practical. So I think it's going to be in the good to have tier. I don't think he's very good in any content at all whatsoever. He might need to be in the please buff. I think I'm going to put these two in the please buff tier because I don't see them being used at all. Nobody talk about them. And whenever I hear people talk about them, is please buff these things. Talisman, most wanted because I have Lucifer. So this guy's going to be in the most wanted tier. Incredible for RTA's AoE cleave with Lucifer. Amazing for siege content for AoE cleave and World Guild Battle. And maybe in Arena as well. The Dark Talisman, Van Cleef. So this guy is another rare unit in the game that can AoE strip into a single target 2-turn stun and then defense break. Very fun for LD cleave and RTA and guild content. I think I'm going to put him into this tier. Like, he's going to be very, very fun to play with. I don't think he's bad. He can be built on Despair, and he's going to do some fun stuff with the strip. He get hard countered by Hey Gang kind of thing, but just pick Hey Gang for yourself, kind of, and then you're going to be fine. Craig, very good buffer, very low base speed. I think Craig is going to be in this tier. Like, you can use him for defense with Odin, and a speed lead for guild content. You can use him in RTA to counter a slow team, because when they're slow, your slow swift set becomes really fast. So you can still go first with buff and one-shot them. Can be quite interesting to play with, but because of the low base speed, it's going to be hard to use him. So I'm going to put him in this tier. Dark Crane. Okay, what is this guy name again? I forgot. But the Dark Slayer, provoke guy, he's going to be in the good to have. I think if you pair a healer with this guy, if you have a Seimei, he's going to be back to his prime time. Because the moment he controls something, it's never going off. And he can be that crazy. So maybe he's good, but because he's not used by anyone, I don't dare putting him any higher. Seimei. Seimei actually going to go into the good, but I don't like this unit. Because very boring to play with. And she can be sniped a lot, and she's not very fun to play with. Like, she's very good into debuff or heavy buff team, and she can be a force ban, but it's just the playstyle. I don't know. I don't like that much. Doman is a hit or miss queen. I think the rise of Irene just showed that Doman need a buff. Doman is really good into sniping things that are heavily protected by passive, that kind of thing. So Doman's gonna be in the RTA tier. I don't know if Doman's good in siege though. I think she can be good in siege too. Like an ability to snipe without revive against Nana. Isn't that amazing? But then it's a hit or miss. If you miss, you just wasted a turn doing absolutely nothing. Then to buff skill 3 to be either irresistible, or if she get resisted, she get to use it again like Segment. Ongyoki. Every time I see this unit being talked about, it is please buff Ongyoki. So Ongyoki is gonna go into the good to have tier. I think Ongyoki is actually not the worst, and building Ongyoki is not super complicated as well, and using Ongyoki is not super complicated too, and you can use him into stun team. Ongyoki is a AoE / single defense break damage dealer that are good into stun. So very similar to Miying. But Miying cleanse a teammate, Miying provide healing, Miying can revenge consistently, and Miying is good into late game. Yeah, I think Miying is just a better version of this thing, and it is an okay unit. Would I enjoy Ongyoki? Maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna put him into here. I want to use him in RTA a little bit. I'll use him in Guild PvP a little bit, but I don't think it's Miying tier. Light Mage. Light Mage is an LD AoE damage dealer with speed lead. That on paper seems like she's gonna be in the most wanted tier, but I think I'm gonna put her into the good to have because still she's not super relevant, and she's very, very simple. But then Talisman is just crazy in that slot. But maybe I'm missing out on something with Light Mage. If you are a Light Mage gamer, you let me know in the comment section down below. But I don't think she's that good. Dark Mage. She used to be my most wanted unit. I'm not sure if she's my most wanted anymore since I dropped the AoE debuff playstyle to play with other things, because I need to play with other things all the time. So I'm going to put her into the RTA guild PvP kind of vibe. She can be using guild content, great debuff, great damage, great self-healing. And if I have her, I can go back to the AoE debuff playstyle for like a week and have a lot of fun. Daniel. Amazing skill, very inconsistent. If you don't push back, you don't do damage. But if you push back, you absolutely demolish the entire enemy team. So it's like a hit or miss kind of vibe. So I'm going to put Daniel into the RTA tier. I'm not sure if Daniel can work in Siege though. Maybe. I haven't seen that yet. But maybe can be okay for Siege offense as well. Jackson. Even though Jackson on paper seems like Ragdoll on steroid, but people can play around him. And if you last pick him right, he get banned. So I don't know. He also have one of the worst win rate in RTA as well. Because beside the passive, the utility of Jackson is very low. So I'm going to put him into the please buff tier. I think he needs to be buffed a little bit more to be relevant. Not a bit extra attack bar, but one more utility for the unit. Ella is going to go into the... Not gonna lie, Ella might go into the most wanted tier. The combination with cooldown reset from this unit can be used with almost any team to make the team so much better. So I think Ella is gonna go into the most wanted tier because I play against this unit so many times in RTA, and every time I get demolished. I absolutely hate this unit. It is so good. On the other hand, the Dark Ella, Maya, is terrible. One of the worst LD5 in the game. No real practical use, no counter to anything, and get countered by everything. Light, I think his name is Benedict, Light Weapon Master. Light Weapon Master is going to be a guild PvP only unit. I think I'm going to use him to snipe things, and that's about it. That's probably going to be the only place I use this guy because building him is not easy. He still needs crit damage to do big damage, and he can be very squishy and die instantly in RTA. Maximilian is going to be very similar to Nephthys. Speed lead, AoE setup unit, big damage, very fun to play with. Might not be a top tier competitive unit in others people tier list, but in my tier list, I fucking love this guy. I play with him from time to time on my friend Lexico account, and every time I have so much fun with this guy. Light Claw guy, Shan, I think that's the name. I don't remember the Claw guy, the Shadow Claw guy name, both the light and the dark. I think this guy is gonna be a good to have unit. If he land the shadow, he can ignore defense, do big damage, very fun. But if you can do big damage, it means you can be one shot. So he died very quickly as well if they know what to go for. And the shadow can be resisted. I think they need to buff the shadow of this guy and the dark guy to be not resistible, so that it can be consistently good instead of good once in a while. I think the dark shadow guy is kind of underrated. Very good counter to Juno in a debuff team, and can do some decent damage and can steal your turn away and make you slow and very, very hard to deal with. You cannot cleanse the shadow. If they buff this guy to have his shadow irresistible, he's going to be really, really good. I'm going to put him into the RTA tier. I really want to get some experimentation done with this guy in RTA. He can be very fun counter pick. Veronica. Veronica used to be God tier. Now she is okay-ish. I'll put her into RTA tier. I don't think nobody used her in the guild content. Yeah, I don't think anyone used her in guild content whatsoever. I don't think she's very relevant in arena as well. So she's going to be mainly RTA, but being able to use her requires some good-ass rune. And I'm not sure I have it. Like, my Swift is trash. Maybe on Via or this, I think on Despair she's going to be okay. But so many unit counter her nowadays, she's like falling off a little bit. Dark Veronica. I think she's going to be a very fun toy for guild PvP and RTA, because she can one-shot unit with passive with the Oblivion and skill 3. Very big damage unit, but very hard to use, because once again, you can do big damage. It means you can be one-shotted, and she's going to be like that. So I think she requires other LD5 to function if possible, like proper protection or ATB boost like Yeonhong Viva Shell kind of thing, and then she can be quite amazing. Audrey, the light macaroon guard. She has been shown to be a very strong anti-bruiser unit in RTA because she's very hard to kill, and she can heal the team while providing defense, break, and protection as well. I think she's going to be great in RTA for last pick against Bruiser Com, and can be very fun to play with. Defense killing damage dealer is very rare. The Dark Macaroon. Oh, this unit. The Dark Holy Berry. Nightmare and siege defense, sometimes very, very annoying in arena defense, and very good in RTA as well. Arguably, can be put into the most wanted tier because she do really well in all the area, and she does big damage while having protection. Very fun to play with. Very, very fun. Light Pudding Princess. Oh, the revive thing that cannot be reset. Please buff this thing. Nobody used her for whatsoever reason. I don't know, man. Just not good. The Dark Pudding is going to be a good to have unit because of the low base speed. Using her is going to be quite challenging. And tuning her to move in front of other unit like Oliver is going to be a hell because she's so slow. So maybe a good start is to buff these unit base speed. But then that would buff Adriana too much. So maybe not. But her in particular can be very good into turn 2 team with Oblivion strip slow. But because she's so slow and the inconsistency of landing the Oblivion can really ruin her, she's not very popular in the RTA or PvP meta. Kovachi is going to go into the most wanted tier because Kovachi is absolutely incredible for bomb. I have Sira Giana. Incredible for one-shot team and siege as well because of the attack bar and attack buff. Can be good for siege defense with Odin. So I think very solid unit for multiple function in the game. We have Zenisek, who's going to be incredible to stun teams. So in the Jeonnam meta, Zenisek has one of the highest win rate against Jeonnam. But with Jeonnam falling and the rise of Twin Angel, less stun, more damage, I'm not sure he's going to be super relevant anymore. A counter pick unit exclusively. So definitely not going to go into the most wanted tier, but it's going to be great for counter picking in RTA. Light Evo used to be in the most wanted for me, but nerf after nerf, she's very inconsistent for turn 1 right now. And for turn 2, she's kind of like a unit that moves a lot, but does a whole lot of not. So I'm going to put her into the RTA tier. Or she might fall into the good to have tier. I feel like if they decide to rebuff her, she can regain her glory because her base speed is insane. And moving all the time with that amount of stun, defense break can always be crazy. But I think nowadays she kind of lost her purpose and people struggle to really know how to use this unit. Dark Evo, though, on the other hand, is absolutely amazing with Bruiser team and Lucifer team. So I'm put her into the most wanted because she can also be used in guild content with defense. And I love team up thing. It's always fun. Dark Cassandra, great Nemesis, Will Trap or Violent, and can be great in RTA, can be great in guild PvP for one-shot purposes. Ignore Defense, always great in guild content because that is one of the best way to win, not relying on Galleon defense break, but just one-shotting them immediately. The light one-shot ignoring passive guy, light, what is this guy name? I can't remember. From the Assassin's Creed collaboration. Oh my god, I can't. Light Ezio. Yes, Light Ezio. Light Ezio is gonna go into the RTA guild PvP kind of tier. I mean, he's like Jaara, but Jaara is so much more fun to play with. But he can also be used in the same way to one-shot things, do big damage, and still, one of the best ways to win is to kill the enemy immediately. Dark Bayek, the snake or the bird guy. He is going to be in the please buff tier, very inconsistent in what he does, super random stuff, not even good for defense because he doesn't provide anything but the random stun, and you can counter that rather easily with so many anti-debuff unit. So I think it's going to be in the please buff tier, free-to-play unit, but please buff. The light, I can't remember his name. It's been a long time. Light Indra. Light Indra is going to go into the good to have. No, I'm going to put Light Indra in the please buff tier. I think after the buff, it is still very hard to use because Light Indra is stuck in the middle of the utility scale. He's not really a true debuff unit, and he's not really a true damage dealer. So nobody really know how to actually utilize him properly. So he struggles with identity and please buff so that he can do really well in one thing. Dark Indra. Dark Indra is gonna be in the unit that I absolutely hate fighting. Somehow this guy always proc out of stun to AoE provoke you and then you die. I fucking hate this unit. My win rate against this unit somehow is garbage. So I'm gonna put this guy into the RTA tier because I fight him so much in RTA and every time I do, I lose. It's ridiculous. Light Bagger. So Light Suitcase, Light Devil Maiden, Jessica. So this unit is only for counter-picking AoE debuff team, and that is dying. Like, that playstyle is dying, so the use for her is also dying. So I think she's going to be good to have, but it's going to be very hard to find a use for her. Dark Devil Maiden. So this unit has one of the most unique mechanics in the game. She can transform into an AoE monster with one skill. But then, once again, she struggled to find a true purpose, like, are you a damage dealer? Are you a debuff thing? We don't know. And she can be one-shot early on as well. I feel like if she has a mechanic that allows the demon to come out to protect her at least once so that she can't be one-shot, maybe she's going to be good on defense. But I think she's going to go into the please buff tier. Yeonhong, one of the most overhyped unit in human history. If you think this guy is going to make your dungeon team faster, think again. You don't have the runes for that. If you think this guy is going to make your RTA team hit harder, think again. You're not Qitian Bao. You don't have runes for that. And suddenly he's not very useful for the casual average man, aka even me. I'm not sure where to use him, but I have him. I'm going to put him into the good to have. Maybe I'm missing out. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm dumb. Could happen. Happened many times before. So he's going to be in the good to have tier. Gapsu is going to be in the free to play unit. Light Twin Angel is going to go into the, if I own a 230 Swift set, God tier. If I don't, it's going to be in the RTA tier. Might pair him, them, they, them with Ciara for some fun bomb turn 1. But my Swift are so trash that I don't know if I can actually use it. Dark Twin Angel. Probably going to go into the please buff tier because nobody really uses this thing. I think it's missing one small extra utility. Just like the other Twin Angel, they provide so much utility. But this guy, or this couple, they don't do enough utility. Or the utility is not the right one in the right combination. But one extra thing, maybe a strip somewhere, is going to make this unit. But then the light, the wind one are the strip. And then the fire and the dark one are like the debuff. The water one is like in the middle. So maybe something extra for this unit to set up better, and I think Dark Twin Angel is going to be immediately top tier. Like Garo, gaining utility, gaining popularity, not utility, gaining popularity in RTA recently because he can spin a lot, do a lot of AoE damage. But I'm not really sure, is that really the reason? But he can counter attack bar push up because he gained attack bar in between. But I still feel like he's lacking something. I'm not a fan of this guy yet. Not enough evidence. I'm going to put this guy into the maybe good to have. Okay, he's going to be in the good to have. He might be good soon. But we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. Dark Jaara is going to go into the please buff tier 100%. Very weird unit. The damage boost in the passive doesn't boost his bomb damage. Doesn't really do that much. Bomb is very inconsistent in the first play anyway. His main utility is Stun. Stun is not real. So the damage boost is for his skill 1. That doesn't really do that much damage anyway. If you want a big damage dealer, there's so many other free-to-play options to do so. You don't need this guy. Light Siri. So Light Siri is kind of like Light Garo. Some people really like them, but I'm not super convinced. So Light Siri can be built for great RTA, for guild content one-shot team. And for RTA, I have heard that the best build for Light Siri is actually a bruiser build, fast, tanky, and wait for the speed to stack up and have good artifact to do additional damage by speed. And you start hurting a lot in the mid game to late game. But you have to survive the early game. Dark Yennefer, super hard counter by Juno. That's why she's not very popular. So I'm put Dark Yennefer into the very similar to the Light Monkey King, a lot of control, but she can also provide immunity. But then she's not super amazing because of the lack of how do I say? She doesn't really counter anything, and she can counter by too many things. I think that's the problem. She's gonna be in a good to have tier because I think she's one buff away from being broken. Because she's like doing two things almost really, really good. Almost. Lightrish. Lightrish is incredible for Arena dot team. And I love dot team in Arena. I want it. I want it bad. I want Lightrish a lot because it is one of the best unit for Arena dot team. And I love doing that. Darktrish. This is Dark Lucian, but require way too many setup. And if I need AoE damage to ignore defense, I'm going to run Amber. And Amber can be built like a truck, super tanky, and deal very good damage. This thing requires you to build on damage build and can be one shot and require too much setup for guild content with 3 units. So it's going to be a good to have, fun to play with, but not necessarily very good. Might even join the buff tier to be relevant. You know what? Going to throw that to the buff tier. Silver. A force to be reckoned with. One of the best units for RTA last season. This season, we don't know yet. But I feel like still going to be very good. With the rise of Aya and Fire Megumi, maybe it's going to see some decline. But I still think it's a 33 speed lead LD for RTA. And very good for arena defense. It's a unit that allows Triton to go first. And if Triton fail, but other unit can stop your strip somehow and he buff immunity, you're instantly fucked. So very good for arena defense and very good for RTA. Dark Hacker, very good into debuff team, but once again, you don't see that very often nowadays. But compared to Jessica, he can set up defense breaks. So he can be a setup unit for your Ragdoll, for your whatever damage dealer you are running, Fire Monkey King. He can be kind of good for RTA and not as niche as Jessica the Light Devil Maiden, for example. We have we have the demon from the past that is not a demon in the present day. And he's going to go into the free-to-play tier. We have the Dark Yuji. After buff, still need a buff. Doesn't do anything to counter anything properly. And it's fun to play with, but require real buff. Light Nobara. I fought her yesterday night. The entire game, I ignore her. And she did nothing. Unlike every other woman. She got ignored, and she did nothing for the entire game. And then I one-shot her with a Sierra Bomb in the late game. And she's done. I don't know if the buff did anything, but if I just don't touch her, then she's going to be very, very simple to be ignored. So I think she still requires another buff to be useful. Maybe in guild content, you can use her. Maybe, you know what? In guild content, where you can actually force the enemy to hit her, then her special skill is going to be activated and you start doing crazy damage. But in RTA, you can ignore her and she does nothing. Dark Megumi, one of the best AoE strip in the game for LD cleave or just cleave in general. AoE strip, defense break, and attack by pushback. Absolutely incredible. Very good for guild content for setup as well. And I might really... But base speed wise, very hard to use. and Hey Gang is in the mix all the time in the conversation. But still, I think one of the best unit to be used for like setup stuff. Very similar to Van Cleef, but a little bit different utility. Like Gojo. Like Gojo is one of the most popular RTA speed lead for G3. But if you have shit artifact and your team compensation are not good, then he doesn't do a whole lot. But for me personally, because I have Wedgeat, I would love to play with Gojo to have this double defense scaling stuff going on. Speed lead is going to be very fun. Dark Gojo I have. If I don't, definitely going to be in the most wanted. One of the most amazing unit in the game. The better AoE Oblivion for the LD5 with actual damage output, extra control, and stun and skill 3 as well. Very, very good unit. Light Draken Warrior. It's going to go in the please buff tier. Very useless. Recent buff changed nothing about how it can be used. And the skill 1 doesn't scale with defense. Trash. Dark Draken Warrior also got buffed recently, but they need to buff him a little bit more. I feel like even though the skill name is Duel of Honor, there's no honor in this shit, okay? You better win. So they need to give him either self-attack buff, immune to debuff, or a combination of that. He needs to get stronger in the duel, because in other game that I play, let's say I play Dota and is the Legion Commander. When you use that skill, very similar skill. You go into the duel, you fight one another with skill 1, bong bong bong. But in that game, you always build your hero with immunity, with extra damage, with bonus attack speed. Like, you don't go into the duel fucking empty-handed like this guy. He needs to get self-buffing. And then he enter the duel, and then we start duking it out. No honor in this shit, okay? He needs to have self-buff. Light Tanjiro. I find him sometime in RTA, and I destroy him every single time. I'm not sure what his true purpose is. But in guild content, you can use him to one-shot things with a skill 2. Good enough for me. I love ignore defense. He's going to be great in guild content. Dark Nezuko. I feel like... Okay, she's going to be in the dupe tier, but I feel like she can use a small buff because she doesn't do a whole lot. After I play with the Fire Twin Angel, I feel like the utility are kind of similar, but then Fire Twin Angel can do damage, and she doesn't. Like, she doesn't do damage. She doesn't help you do damage. She protects you a little bit, but other utility are kind of lacking. So maybe if she can defense break or she can buff other thing, I think she's going to be very, very good. So if I don't have her, she's going to be in the good to have tier because the team up is very fun. Dark Zenitsu is going to go into the... Obabo make this guy look good, but even Obabo say that he's not that good. Like, every time he pick this guy, he say that he could be picking any other dark damage dealer. So I think he's going to go into the good to have, but I wouldn't say that he's super broken or OP in anything. Light Inosuke. Dupe. How the fuck is my dupe tier so long? That's crazy. Oh, because they are other free-to-play unit. But Light Inosuke is incredible. I fucking love this unit. I would use this thing every day in guild battle if I can. I promise. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. It is really, really good in guild content. In RTA, a bit harder to use because he's very squishy and can be one-shot control early on. But in guild content, he is an absolute beast. Okay? Amazing setup unit. Like Goth Mommy. Even with the buff, I don't know if she's going to be relevant, but she's going to be good into AoE debuff. She's going to be great with Aya. I think she's going to go into the good to have for counter pick AoE debuff team, but I wouldn't say she's very, very good. On the other hand, the Dark Mommy is really good on a full HP, slow-ish build paired with a one-shot team so that you one-shot something on enemy team, she start going crazy and they will all kneel before her. She is like the Emma Frost of summoners. It's really, really good. If I have her, I'm going to put her into the RTA Guild VP. No, I'm going to put her into the most wanted. Okay, I have been beaten by her so many times. I have trauma. She's really, really good. And that is it for my LD5 tier list. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can take a look at it a little bit better. Ignore the last tier maybe. And a bit more zoom out. And maybe you can see it better this way. So this is going to be the tier list for 2025 most wanted tier. Not too bad. I think this is not too bad. There's some unit that other people might place very high, like Tian Lang or Volantis or Seimei. Some unit people might place really low. Like, let's say people don't like Ella or they don't like Sylvia, they don't like Trish, then they can place it lower. But once again, It's my tier list, so I want to make it very biased and according to me kind of thing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.